Okay, the lighting's still not great, but we'll go along with it. Hey YouTube, it's me, Michael me. Sorry for the background noise. My father is watching movies, of course. This video is basically to piggyback on something that was brought to my attention by Calvin Guerra, and I don't want to get shit for watching his videos because I know a lot of people, specifically in the trans community, do not appreciate his videos and don't like him very much. I, on the other hand, enjoy his videos, even though I don't 100% agree with some of his content. I'm still an avid watcher of his videos. There was a point made in one of his videos, and a couple of his videos actually, where some people confuse other disorders and stuff like that as dysphoria. And that can be a bit of an issue. For example, body dysmorphia can be confused as gender dysphoria. I happen to have both dysmorphia and dysphoria, so I've been diagnosed with both. So yeah. And then there's also trauma. People who experience trauma, and I'm going to speak very lightly on this topic. People who experience trauma may go through a certain kind of mental issue, and I'm not a professional to speak about this topic. I'm just bringing, the topic to light, because some people are starting hormones who shouldn't be starting hormones. Some people believe that they have dysphoria, though they do not, and some people do not understand the true definition of dysphoria. First things first, you should not be starting hormones if you do not experience dysphoria. And if you are thinking about starting hormones, you need to think about the precautions that come into starting hormones. You need to think about all the things that happen because of it. A lot of people have a bit of an issue when it comes to this because they just want to start hormones as soon as they find out that they're trans. But like I was the exact same way. And I'm glad right now that I didn't start testosterone so early, because I feel like the sudden onset of the sudden onset of distinguished changes would have negatively affected my way of thinking. And I feel like if I started earlier, before I was 100% sure of my identity, it would have only made things worse. Now I want to start testosterone like yesterday, which I'm going to go see a doctor next month about. So that's not too much of an issue. But the problem there lies in the fact that some people think they have to start testosterone because it will fix a lot of their mental issues. That is not the case. For me, it will fix a lot of my mental issues, but it might help alleviate dysphoria, but it's not going to help alleviate dysmorphia. Though some of my dysmorphia could be connected with dysphoria, it's not directly affected, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to go into detail about my dysmorphia, because then I'll just get uncomfortable. But alleviating dysphoria will not alleviate dysmorphia, and that's just the gist of it. And then, we circle back around to people with trauma. And that's a really tough subject. But people who have had trauma could possibly believe that they're trans, and I'm asking you right now if you've had trauma before, or if you're dysmorphic and you think that you're trans. I need you to look deeper into that before starting testosterone or estrogen or any type of hormones or whatever. I need you to look further into that, and I need you to think about it before you start, because once you start, there's going to be these permanent changes. I've come to terms with the fact that there's going to be permanent changes. And I know personally that I'm ready to start testosterone, whenever that happens. So I don't have an issue with it. But a lot of other people may have an issue with it. And so this video isn't to shame anyone or isn't to call anyone out. If you start on testosterone, go off it for a little bit, because, okay, there are people who are non-binary who start testosterone just to have a couple changes and then automatically go off of it. I'm going to start off by saying you can't pick and choose the changes that you get with testosterone. But if that's what you want to do, I'm not going to stop you. Go ahead. I identify completely as male. I do not identify as non-binary or anything like that. I'm strongly male. So starting testosterone is kind of a must for me, and staying on testosterone is likely what I'm going to do. The only chance that I would go off of testosterone would be for those 3 to 6 months while I am in boot camp. And that is only so I can conquer, so I could be a Marine. And after I get out of boot camp, whether I passed or not, I'll be starting back on testosterone. So that's not much of an issue. I do want to start testosterone before I start boot camp. Even though I know it's going to fuck up my hormone levels. We're not going to talk about that right now, because I don't want to talk about the consequences, because I just want to go ahead and get that testosterone down, and then, get some of the changes out, and then, boot camp. So, yeah, it is going to be kind of a weird situation for me. But I think I have it pretty much handled. I have it how it's all going to go down in my mind. Hopefully I start testosterone next month. I do have to talk to a doctor, and I think around the 15th of next month, or the 18th, I don't know, I don't remember, but, it's in my calendar, and so, where is I going with that? And so I'm hoping to start testosterone as soon as possible. If you are looking into starting testosterone, remember to do extensive research, because sometimes testosterone or estrogen or whatever hormone is not right 100% for you. Just because you believe you are trans now does not mean that you will believe it later, does not believe that you are 100% right. But, or, there's also non-binary and that problem. I'm not non-binary, so I can't speak for anyone who is non-binary. I have one friend that's non-binary, and they don't explain stuff to me, so, because they don't like talking about it. But I don't understand it completely. I know it's a thing, and I will respect people who are non-binary. I just don't understand it, because I don't know how dysphoria works with non-binary people at all. So if anyone out there who is non-binary, if you would like to help explain it to me, go ahead. I know for certain people, dysphoria is different. Anyway, this was a really long video. Sorry if you watch it all the way through. Thanks. Why? It's 9 minutes. It's ridiculous. But that's just it. I know I repeated myself a lot in this video, but I'm trying to make a point. Don't start testosterone if you're not 100% ready. And that's just the gist of it. I know I'm 110% ready, and so I want to start as soon as possible. Alright. I'm going to bed now. Bye.